Hello and welcome to the Captain's Table podcast. My name is Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender at the Astropub, your professor on the Astro Historian, and your moderator here at the Captain's Table podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about Star Citizen lore, news, and more. I bring people from all over the Star Citizen community to talk about the game. And today we've got a special to specifically talk about the ship showdown that is going on actively right now. Execute told me that I had to wear my hat, my Drake hat, because I am now outnumbered. I have two hats and I have no hat, so we got to do this. Moderator with a bias, but I share a Drake bias, so it's fair to me. Yes. Anyways, well, before we get started and talk a little bit about the ships of the ship showdown and our theories of what's going to happen, and likely go off on track on a random tangent because Execute and Grim are here, so we're going to end up going on a tangent when we get to that. In fact, let me just a little bit. There we go. So we can actually see Grim. Well, without a random black bar. Let's get started with Sergeant Grim. Who are you? What do you do at Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
Yeah, thanks. I'm Starjump Grim, or Grim, whatever you want to call me. Most people know me from StarjumpFleetViewer.com, obviously, and of course we have Starjump stuff on YouTube, like pre-recorded stuff, fan-made cinematics. We also, I also stream on Twitch, Starjump_Grim, and on YouTube when I can, usually once a week, maybe twice a week if I'm lucky. But yeah, that's
Awesome.
me.
Yeah, you were at Quantum Vegas, and you
I
gave
was
that
at Quantum. Yep.
presentation. That was a fantastic presentation. It was probably my favorite presentation out of everything at Quantum Vegas because that is
Well, I
very
appreciate.
cool. It was very
I
cool.
appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I remember someone telling me that. I think it was Griff from Soul Citizens telling me that, and I was very flattered. The only thing though is that my presentation sort of ran backwards from this. So I gave them all the videos in an order,
Yeah,
but they played them out of order, so the presentation was kind of a
backwards.
little all over the place. Yeah, but maybe if I'm invited back next year, if they do it again, we'll do it a little differently. I think next time they want me to do a live kit bashing on stage, so we'll see.
I want to phone in and do that. I keep saying that I want to do that with him. He don't want me to. He's like, you'll still make fun of. Fuck off. But no, I love doing them with him. They're great because they're just a great thought thing. But yeah, he
It
needs to smile more. I didn't see a single fucking photo with a fucking smile. The only one I saw was him and you, and he would smirk. That's
Okay,
the closest we got to a smile in
before
any of his
smile.
photos.
before we get any
Fuck
further,
off. You got a
before
smile.
bef-
It's the beard. It covers the whole thing.
before we get any further, YouTube, it's cultural. He's allowed to say the F word. It's a cultural thing. If you demonetize me because of this, I am going to sue you for cultural inauthenticity. All right, Australian word.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm barely awake right now.
Yes.
If you break the bear, you get angry actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. So, yeah.
Speaking of
Yep.
Australian heritage, who are you? Execute. Where can they find you?
Uh, 5-10 minutes in my bed over there, maybe. But no, look, no, just in front of Execute. You know who I am by now. If you don't, then don't worry about it. It'll be good. I'm terrible at promoting myself.
You want me to
guys know
promote
that
you?
by now. No one just keep me awake pretty much at this point. No, look, we talk about ships and stuff, and trying to help people with money. Do a lot of the similar stuff that Grim does, basically. We just enjoy talking about ships and enjoying the game, as I hope we all do. That's me in a nutshell.
We also we've done a couple of shows where I'm also a member of the Informers, Space Tomato, Local Plays. You'll see a lot of folks out there. We do a lot of videos that have a huge influence on the community that people I don't think realize. Like a lot of the Star Citizen is bigger than you think. We did that, and
Yeah, that was one.
and then everyone realized how gigantic some of these maps are going to be, and they're like, "Oh, wait." So, we're big on selling your fighters, and we are the Vatican of the cult of the Endeavor. So,
I'm already regretting reading chat. I'm gonna lose it if I
because piss poor Pete's there.
Yeah, he's gonna troll. All I'm gonna say is 85 what was I supposed to say? 85-6. 85x sucks shit. Pete.
I was gonna say
I win.
Just mention that we with that gladiator beat it. It didn't beat it. It just beat it. It beat its ass. Oh God.
man, that thing ain't walking for a week. Like it is dead. Like it's gone. Like,
Yeah. It was
Your consolation prize is that we did make the 85X prettier in Star Jump Fleet Viewer last week, so it now looks more accurate. So
yeah.
I'm sure he
There
can
that's your
call that
consolation
while he
prize.
sleeps. Yeah.
It's not a rigged vote, Pete. We just manipulated it by campaigning harder. That's all.
Yeah.
It's
Just, like,
American politics,
we
okay?
talked about it a year ago. Like if
Yeah.
he'd been there for the discussion, I didn't even realize it didn't have a skin until he brought it up like less than a month ago.
That the 85X doesn't, or that the Gladiator?
Yeah, I thought the Gladiator was the last one, but I was wrong, and so next year we've got another one to do. But I have a secret suspicion that it'll probably get a skin before then.
Oh yeah.
But if it doesn't, we need to work out what we're going to do next year. But I think we're getting back to meme territory now because they really do need to fix some of these categories and stuff. But
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later because we talked about this.
Yeah.
This is our second show talking about Ship Showdown this year. We did another show in June, I want to say, maybe July.
Yeah, some motherfucker never turned up.
Well,
but see, well, there's a difference between not showing up and alerting beforehand I wasn't going to be able to make it.
yeah, but
There is
you
a
originally
difference.
agreed to it, and then somebody had a birthday. That's what it was. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fucking grow. Like fuck those people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. It's too many nieces and nephews.
all right, so let's
Yeah.
take a look at the current show. Let's take the one that's currently being run right now. Because we're talking about the Ship Showdown. For those of you who don't know what a Ship Showdown is, if you're brand new, that Ship Showdown is an event that happens every year. It's been happening since like 2019. I want to say it's 2019 or 2020, but
Been a while.
it's been a while. It's been around for a bit now, at least 5 years, if not 7 years.
Let's go through the colors. That's how I remember it. So we had pink and white, and then we had black, white, and gold. Then we had blue. Then we had the red. Then we had the Cerulean one. Then we had the second purple one, and then there's this year. So that's almost like what 7? Fuck, I lost count. Someone was counting. It wasn't
it's like
me.
7 years, yeah. So
yeah.
So every year there's a community call where CIG gets to see who wants what. And then every year they pick 16 out of those lists that they can find, and then they run them head to head against each other to see who wins. The top 4, so the semifinalists, all the semifinalists get a special skin for winning, and the finalist gets usually a special add-on like a shirt or like a backpack or something else like that as an additional prize. So
can we start there? The whole that first round of voting thing, where people just like crochet carrots and stuff like that. That phase has always been super just like vague to me. I don't understand how stuff gets selected. I still partially want them to do just a page where every ship is listed and you can click on. Maybe you're allowed to choose 10 and then vote, and then that. I would love to see what the results are that. Is all I'm saying.
Can I just point something out for Baseball Pete? Because I know this will drive him nuts, right? So Pete, if you follow my finger, you'll see the gap here above Grimm's head is very, very small, right? But if you come over here to this side, you'll notice it's slightly larger, implying that there's a crooked line there, Pete. Sorry, he'll narrate over that for an hour and a half and then send you messages.
That's probably my fault, or no, blame Darsh for that.
No, you don't fix it. Don't fix it. Fix it now. Solve the problem for him. You can send the police out for an hour and a half.
Listen, Pete is the one who showed me that ET and the dog. All right, you'll never not be able to see the ET and the dog in the loading screen. Okay. That is something I will point out to everyone. I will take that clip and I will show it to everybody. It is inappropriate. CIG is inappropriate. This is keeping Execute awake. Yeah. I agree with you in terms of that initial rundown is so nebulous. It's so like smoke and
everyone was
mirrors.
lowered into a false sense of security. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
bought the raft. What the hell happened to the raft?
Yeah.
So many people putting art submissions for the raft.
Well,
Well, that's because they're art submissions. You only get half the community because not all of us are creative.
yeah.
Right.
I think I don't mind the idea of having to promote your stuff, but I agree with Grim that you need to kind of have like a voting system at least. So
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
I agree too. Yep.
But you know when you all do that show, I forget what it is, but where you like rate every ship
yeah, we
and
do
you
that
just
the
have them
tier
on
once
a
a
list
year.
one.
board.
Yeah.
Imagine if
Yep.
you literally had a page like that for this first round where you have 10 votes and you can pick any 10 ships and every player can do that. You check it on the checkbox. I would love to see what the results of that would be.
Yeah.
I think it'd
You
be
know what I
far
mean?
more comprehensive and fair. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that
It
much.
would be, but I also think that CIG has in recent years secretly removed the ability of winners from the previous year to win and to even be in the 16 in the next year.
That's a fact. Did you know that the freight
Yep.
elevators were in the top 16 this year and they removed them?
No, I mean, like last year, the 4 winners, I don't think any of them are on the 16 this year. If there are, then they're probably variants of those ones. I don't remember what the top 4 were.
Yeah. I need to look that up.
My audio is apparently dropping in and out, so I'm gonna have to. This has been a problem.
No, not for me. Unless it's just on your
It
side.
might be
but on
on
Discord. You're fine.
It might be something else. I'm gonna drop it down a little bit more. There we go.
So yeah, last year the winner was the F8C Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Second place was a C1, and other finalists were the Reclaimer and Terrapin.
Maybe they dropped them out to cycle it around because I do remember seeing F8 posts on the art.
That's what I mean. I think they just they've secretly shadow banned previous winners because people have been asking them to ban previous winners for a long time. So that way,
the Origin 600i had 4, the Carrack had 3, and the MSI had 3.
Mm-hmm.
I did see some 600i's. I didn't see any Carracks, and I didn't see any MSRs this year. So yeah, I don't know.
And the Cutlass one too.
I don't think they should be permanently banned. I think it should just be a 12. Like if you win
1
a
year.
skin,
Yeah, it's a 1 year.
Next year, no chance.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it was permanent ban, we'd get down to the like the Rock DS as going up against the the Reliant Mako. It's like no who uses these?
I was surprised. Did the Zeus end up winning?
Zeus beat the Corsair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my gut said Zeus, and then I talked to Argo, and he convinced me to go Corsair, and then I was wrong. It was the Zeus, so yeah, I was kind of surprised.
And the Vulture is crushing the mole right now.
Oh yeah. No one likes the mole.
I expected that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like 8,600 to 4,100. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I think Crunchy needs to get the message loud and clear because he's been pushing for the mole for years, and it finally gets on the vote. Just bitch slapped straight off the board. Yeah, I do find that quite funny.
I will also say this. There's something to talk about because when we talk about the Sweet 16, it's important to note that CIG does actively fix the rosters, the like who goes up against who. So like it is clearly CIG is manipulating the brackets for their own benefit.
Yep.
Because like if you look at it, and I'll go through this currently, the next round in round 2, the first round winner was the Asgard, and then the for the freighter division, and then they did the ground division, and the winner was the medevac. Who's gonna win in round 2 between the Asgard and the medevac? The Asgard. There's no chance the medevac wins.
You pretty much after the first round now, and this happened last year.
Yeah.
Not 100% certainty, but most of the ones last year, you could safely say these are the final.
Yeah.
And you could almost like right now, I would say, you correct me if I'm wrong, right? And I'll put this out to chat, and I know there'll be people that disagree with me, but I'll also say it to you too. I would say, with almost all certainty, the Polaris are going to take the whole thing.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's going to go all the way up, and it'll be a Polaris Asgard final. And I think most people would agree the Polaris is probably going to be more popular than the Asgard.
There could be a situation where, because the Gladiator is a bit of a meme ship, and there is a lot of people who are backing the Gladiator, myself and you and other people like that. It could beat the Asgard, but at that point, CIG doesn't care because they have to make a paint for both of them. So it's like
I don't think I don't think anyone cares. As long as it gets a skin, then we've done our job. We've only got to get it to that semi-final. That's all I care about. And after that, I don't give a shit.
But I'd still vote for it over the Asgard just so I can get it to the top to make it face against the players. If it could win against the players, I would be so happy because there would be so many people who'd be mad about it. And you know, I'm one of the folks who helped bring the MPUV to the top slot. It wasn't just me; it was the whole community. But we it was all done off of it would be funny if, and so many people got so mad about that they still blame me for it. So it could happen, but I do think you're right. I think all things being fair, the players comes up. But CIG's fixed these rosters because the freighter division is going up the ground division, and whoever wins the freighter division is going to go into the semifinals. The racing division versus their underdog division. Their underdog division is basically the meme ships, and of course the meme ships are going to beat the freaking racing ships. Who cares about racing ships other than racers? They're a tiny portion of the community. And then the Pathfinder versus the heavy duty, and the heavy duty is the Vulture and the Mole. Like, I'm almost certain that the Zeus is going to beat the Vulture when it comes up because more people have Zeuses than they have Vultures.
Yeah.
And the last one, the Alien division versus the Run and Gun division. Like, it doesn't matter what they put in the Alien division. Even if somehow, some way, the TAC wins, it won't. It would still beat whatever's in the Alien division. So like they fixed it so that they know that there's at least going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's only 8 ships that they know they have to worry about in terms of planning out of the 16. And then, and they could probably way more one or the other. So they fixed the bracket so they only have to worry about 8 possible skins.
And you'll notice none of them are big. None of them are big ships.
No, other than the players. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you know what I mean.
It's only one.
They've limited their number of big ships basically. The other thing that you'll notice too is the categories themselves are fucking weird, right? And I mean this by like, why would you? And this is not checking hate. This is checking volume, right? So racing and alien are both 2 very tiny categories comparable to ones that you could pick. Like, for example, I would much prefer there was a category that was starter.
Mm-hmm.
So it included all the starter and advanced starter ships, like sub $100 ships type of thing. That would cater to all the beginners. It would make sure the beginners get
some chance.
Yeah, some chance. They always get knocked off. They're just lumped in with the underdogs. But racing, I don't think I'd have to do the math on it, but there's definitely a lot less alien ships. What is there, 12 in total?
Yeah.
There's not very many when you actually work it out. So you're really
not many.
We'll put it this way: the Prowler Utility is the first ever non-combat alien ship that we have.
Mm-hmm. It's the first industrial alien ship.
It's in game. I want to put that it's in game.
Sulin.
And the Raelian.
Sulin. The Sulian was in game before that. It's not combat.
Yeah, but
that's a starter.
I'll give you the starter, but it is very combat orientated with it, the way its guns are put. But yes, okay, I'll give you that. Fair enough. I'll give you that one. I'll concede. But my point still stands.
Yeah.
It is fairly heavily weighted towards combat. Yeah.
There are 2 out of the 12.
Yeah.
Which also makes them a part of the run and gun, in my personal opinion. Right?
Yeah.
But let's be honest, half the ships in this game are run and gun, and that's the problem.
They have a category problem, but the category problem is so weird because, and I think it's intentional that they did the weird stuff because they want to manipulate who's going to win so that they have a smaller volume of work that they have to do, which I understand. As
I've said, I think the categories need to be size based.
Yeah. Well,
I think you need to.
Yeah. Starter, small, medium, large, capital. 5. And and my personal point of view.
Well, you've also got to have vehicle as well.
Oh, and vehicle.
So 6. So you could literally do. I actually theoretically think you could do 7, but combine the top 2 because there's less of them. So essentially, S0 through to S6, but then combine 6 and 5 together just because of the numbers.
The numbers because they're so small.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know that they didn't, like, for instance, the Idris would have won this year if they had allowed it, but they didn't allow it because the Idris is so big that, can you imagine? Because they do free, for those of you who don't know, during the during IAE, during the free flight, they give you access to all of the best in show semifinalists
Mhm.
for free in
Yeah.
game. So
Mm.
if the Polaris wins, everyone will have access to a Polaris. Everyone. So and that's
Right.
already going to cause stress on the servers. I mean, Idris would just 600 Idrises flying around would break the game.
And
So
I'm probably going to make him a ton of cash, letting people try it out before they buy it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still think, I still can't believe they haven't gone to some kind of thing where Ship X comes out, and from the time the first time you log in, and that ship's been available, you then automatically it's rented. Like it brings up a message and says, for the next 24 hours, you have access to the X ship, and you can basically try it before you buy. I can't believe that's the thing that we still don't have.
I mean, you're
It,
preaching to the choir. I mean, that's something
yeah.
I've been proposing for a while, which is just make all ships that are new to game rentable until they're in game as purchasable. So that way,
Yeah.
or rentable for 24 hours, even like
make it cost
like
money. You know, it doesn't matter.
yeah. Yeah, but I wouldn't make it unlimited. That's what they're worried about. They're worried that people will rent instead of buy, right? I actually get their fear, but you still got to let someone try it. Like you're literally asking to physically put out money and then get a physical refund if they don't like it. That's just a little bit much when you just have to
Try
time
it.
limit it. Like
Yeah.
just let people try before they buy. Any good product will sell itself.
Mhm.
And let's be honest,
I'd
we all
be
know
fine
the
with
ships are
them.
pretty. Yeah, sorry.
I'd be fine with them throwing a sim pod in New Deal and just letting you get in the sim pod and experience the ship in an instanced,
Yeah, that'd
you
work too.
know,
Yeah.
thing where, like, if they don't want to disrupt the live game environment, just like
Yeah.
let you check the ship out, fly it around in sort of an instance,
Even
small
Arena
area.
Commander. Even
Or
an
yeah,
Arena Commander would work as well. Yeah.
but tying that like where you could access it through the game, I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's go down the list of the ships currently that are
Yeah.
that are there and see if who are going to win. So the current one is. Go ahead.
Oh, before we do that, I know I'm interrupting, but I did send you a post that they made, right?
Okay.
On Twitter X that they made, and I don't know why, but they never made this video available on YouTube. And I find it really, really strange because it literally has all the developers talking about Ship Showdown. And this was posted way back, I believe, in July, right? And it goes through probably 20 different developers talking about their favorite ships for Ship Showdown.
Oh yeah.
But they never really publicized it, and I find it really, really strange. And I think it's actually kind of telling some of the. When John Crew talks, you'll see what he says.
Let me.
Can you? Have you got the ability to show this full screen? Or
I
have put
will,
you on the
but we'll
spot?
just have to be quiet for a moment. So hold on. I'll
Okay.
mute us here and I'll pull it up on the full screen.
I think it's worth showing to people because it's just not been publicized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Have you gentlemen have seen it though? I assume.
I have
I've
never.
seen it, yeah.
I have never seen it. I don't because I don't
Yeah.
use Twitter. So like.
Funny thing though is someone had to send it to me because I didn't see it on YouTube. So
Yeah. All right, so
I'm probably made to send it to you.
I'm gonna mute this chat so you can like mute us so you can hear this and you can go through this. This is a good thing to bring up. Hold on.
So, what is Ship Showdown? Ship Showdown is a contest where the players vote for their favorite spaceships.
Community's favorite vehicles are pit against each other.
It's a knockout style tournament.
Players get to have a big fight over which ship they think's the best. They do it anyway, but this time it's official.
Where you, the community, get to tell everyone who your favorite vehicle team is.
It's us, right?
Yeah.
The thing I like the most about Ship Showdown is everyone has like their campaign for their ship. People can get quite creative.
People have like crocheted ships.
The song that was made last year for the Pisces was always a big hit, and I spent way too long listening to it over
They crochet a ship.
and over
I didn't know how to crochet like a square.
and over.
Someone had taken foam and carved out a cutter and like refactored a drone.
I think it's just really great to like see things that the community makes.
And it was just flying around at like dog walkers.
And over.
Whoever did that, well done.
Yeah, well,
If we're going memories for Ship Showdown, my favorite one was with the MPV, the Mumpov. I was just like, I love this community. They're making the Umpov win.
The community this year will probably vote for Star Lancer.
It's really cool. Got a lot of guns.
I really like that one. You say that because you work on it.
It's massive. You can do a bunch of stuff with it. And it's almost one of the best looking ships we have. And Alberto is next to me, and I don't want him to hate me.
Vote for Star Lancer.
the cutter is like the actual like vehicle team's favorite ship. I'm pretty sure.
You only get your first car. It's that kind of feeling. Like it does a little bit of everything.
Held together with duct tape.
Yeah, exactly.
Vote for the cutter. It's the only ship that's 100% built on vibes.
I want my little guy to win.
The golem.
Yeah.
Or the Emperor Asgard because I worked on it. I would say Archimedes.
Archimedes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
My favorite is the Peregrine because it's sick.
For me, I like RSI Scorpius.
Oh,
No one will vote for the MTC, and it hurts me deeply.
Well, what I want to see win is the Crusader Intrepid. I think it was kind of like the little ship that could, but it's not the Anvil Gladiator. It's a good ship.
Okay.
People use it. I was unsure if you were being serious. No, I'm being serious. Always serious.
Okay.
Vote Firebird, best ship.
So there you have it. Ship Showdown 2955 kicks off across social media on July 29th, and we want you to get involved. Org your org, rep your ride, and submit your favorite ship using the hashtag Ship Showdown. The vehicles with the most love move on to Phase 2, and the ultimate winner will be crowned on September 2nd. So get out there and make your voice heard. Anyone can win, except the Rock DS. Try to use that.
All right, so why the heck was this not posted on YouTube?
I don't know.
That was
Such high production value, everything. It was really weird.
yeah. Like it was interesting to hear some of their ships. I mean, a lot of it was them. Their
Talking about ships they'd worked
They've
on,
worked
like
on.
the guy that said the Peregrine Took. I felt
Like-
so bad for him when I saw that. I was like, "Are you serious? Read the room, bro. Read
Yeah.
the room."
I'll link this in chat for those of you who missed it, so you can see it.
Or even
the
them with the
Intrepid-
Intrepid. It's
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
dude, like, what the
Nobody
fuck?
liked that ship, you know.
Yeah.
I did like that John is a fan of the Gladiator though.
Yeah,
so-
man of the people. That's the first thing I said. It's just like, man of the people.
Yes.
Like, and he references memes and he calls it like Iron Chat and things like that. You'll notice he's up with all the current shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's really switched on. Yeah.
But no, it's just an interesting one to look at because it's clear that there's definitely some push on CIG's part that seems to have not fully worked out. But they do love. I'm glad that they enjoyed my MP or not, I say my because like people still blame me for it, but it wasn't just me. It was a lot of us who did the MPUV push. But you know,
But did you notice that most of the ships in there, though, besides the Gladiator and the Intrepid, the Gladiator, most of them were all real new ships.
Yeah,
they weren't older ones. They like. It was really interesting to me. It was
like
it felt almost like advertising
it's
material.
like the Merlin and the Gladiator, the only ones that they made.
Which especially makes sense if, like we speculate, there's a lot of new ship team members, and you know some of them that we saw in there are people that we really just started seeing recently. So it's probably their first or second ship they've made.
The Golem and
it
the
would make
Golem
sense.
and
Yeah.
Vulture people, and yeah.
The Cutter was probably the oldest of those groups, and we all know that the Cutter was the starter ship for the Montreal team. I believe it was that was one of their first ones, and same with the Zeus. So
right,
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of them babes. It's always important to remember that when Paul Jones left, he probably took a ton of the team that was. We know he took the team that was working on the BMM, but at the
three
time,
people, wasn't it? From my memory,
it was like
three?
5.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was huge. And I know from my contacts inside CIG that they do a really good job of retaining talent. Like there are people who've been working at CIG for 10 plus years who don't want to leave. But the one place they constantly have problems keeping staff is the ship team because they constantly get poached. So this is the first time that CIG has had a dedicated ship team that's been around for longer than a year, pretty much. Outside of people like, you know,
well, it's easier to poach than train new talent. That's why they get poached so much. It's like,
Yeah.
well, we'll pay them an extra $3,000 a year and just freaking take them from somewhere else. It's cheaper to pay $3,000 than yeah.
Yeah, the ships are also one of the more public facing and allowed to be public facing bits
Yep.
of the work. So it would
Yep.
make sense that those artists can sort of be out there promoting themselves a little better than say someone who's been working on Squadron
Mhm.
for 7 years and is maybe interested in getting a new job. There's probably a lot of NDA stuff pretty active in regards to
Maybe,
all things Squadron, even just showing it to prospective employers.
maybe that's why it was on YouTube. They realized they shouldn't be advertising these people on ISCs. Just like nobody even they are. They
Maybe.
can't be stolen.
Yeah.
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 Hey, you know what? Believe it or not, I employ that same tactic sometimes. There's times where the studios I work for will want to promote artists, like say, "Oh, they've been here 5 years," or "Hey, look at this thing they just did for us." And I'm always like, "Do not put their contact information. They're gonna get stolen, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna lose an artist." And then so
Yeah.
it's a real
Yeah.
thing. It really is.
Yeah. Nobody, yeah, walk up to them and go, no one can know who you are. You are too bloody good.
Well, I mean, yeah, ships are also it's not just ships themselves are not only the only thing you can, like the most visible thing you can see in the for the game, but also has the most transferable skills. If you know how to build a ship in Star Citizen, that means you know how to model it. It means you know how to rig it. You get good animations for it. The lighting passes on it. And if somebody works in the position you're in, Grim, I'm sure if you had an option to hire somebody who worked at CIG to work on certain things, you'd probably say, yeah, because I know the quality of their work. So
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, in even going into some of the larger ships, those skills are transferable to people that build, levels and do other complicated things because there's so many crazy systems involved in some of these ships. So yeah, I mean, talent is super difficult. It's very hard to onboard people, even in stuff that's where CIG, I think they're doing stuff that's really kind of never been done at this scale in gaming. In the film industry where I work, I mean, a lot of the stuff we do, I mean, we use new technology all the time, but we kind of know how to make commercials. We kind of know how to make movies, but it's hard to onboard artists even into that, like stuff that's like a known quantity. When you're dealing with a game, though, where it's got its own game engine, that's sort of being proprietarily built around their needs and all that. I imagine it's even doubly difficult. So I totally sympathize with the stuff that John Crew and Ben Curtis have talked about in like the last two Citizen Cons in terms of team growth and stuff like that. So
ironically, I think it's good and bad. I don't like it, but it's probably good for CIG that currently it is nobody wants to leave their positions in gaming because nobody's hiring in gaming and everyone's getting fired. So
yeah, well, in this article that just came out, what was it the other day about Cloud Imperium Montreal? I mean, it makes total sense why CIG, what was it, 2 years ago or whatever, purchased Turbulent. It makes complete sense just from a talent acquisition and technology acquisition standpoint.
So let's go down the actual list now. We've been 30 minutes in. I said at the very beginning we were going to get sidetracked here and there, but this is good. It's all talking about the ships anyway. So let's start with right now. We know that the Vulture is currently beating the pants out of the Mole, so it's probably going to win. Let's talk about the Alien Division. I'll start with you on this one. Execute. Prowler Ute versus Talon. Who's winning?
Utility.
Think so?
Yeah, it's just too unique compared to as I said before.
You think it's a new bias as well, or is it just?
Well,
unique?
again, you pile everyone else in because this is the thing, right? You've had the alien people kind of push those two forward, right? And go, hey, here, community, this is what we like, and now they're gonna go, no, this is the better one. Like that's literally that's kind of what happens with the ships. Essentially, is everyone puts up what they like in their own little category, and then everyone else goes, no, that's ridiculous. Get the hell out of here. And to me, I think the utility is just the uniquer of the two. I don't think I think you could almost put any other ship up against it, and most people would say the utility is the more unique one, the more deserving of the two.
Grim, do you agree? Disagree?
I'm going to go the other way, and I think the utility is going to win, but I would absolutely vote for the Talon only because I still don't totally understand the value in the utility.
Don't fucking
And
smirk at me, bro.
I
I know what you're
and
doing. I know
and
what
I
you're
would
doing.
not recommend anyone like
He's
if it's
doing
a
it.
friend of mine. If it's a friend of mine, I wouldn't recommend them spending the money on the utility. I would say buy
He
a
said
talent.
before. He said before the show, I'm just going to do everything opposite to what you fucking said. That's literally what he said. He's trying to piss me off, guys.
X,
And he's
X,
smirking like a motherfucker.
X,
Look at that
X.
smirk.
I'm gonna-
Look at that fucking smirk.
I'm gonna-
Tell me he's not fucking smirking.
I'm gonna
He's
throw this.
fucking smirking.
I'm gonna throw this back in you though, X. You are the person who have constantly said that
Yeah, it's true.
that the Prowler is not worth the money. That is your own words. He's using your own words against you.
Yeah, he is. The Talon is definitely the better value pick. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure. But unique. Again, it's different when you're picking between two ships and then every single ship in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That changes the playing field. It's an arena. It's a ship showdown. It is the two going off against each other. The cost literally goes out the window. It's literally features which is
Which is
physically
good.
the better ship, and the prices have been left at the door. Right.
I agree with that.
Plus-
The only thing I would note is that we know that CIG. Well, I guess they're really doing it to all the ships anyway. So this point isn't valid, but obviously they're going to put a lot. They're going to try to sell a lot of those finalists.
Well, okay. For example,
people,
if the final had been the Nurse versus the Polaris, would you bring the price into it? It wouldn't be fair to do so.
Don't you use your logic with me?
Yeah. I'm tired, but I still know what I'm fucking talking about.
I do think that the Mute is going to win unless there's some sort of underground Talon cruise that I don't know about. But I can understand why the Ute would win because I have seen so many FPS groups and other folks who just kind of do do group gameplay use the Ute effectively because like the Ute can hold like one of those big batteries from the Hathor facilities, so you can literally grab it. It can hover. You can toss that thing into the thing, and it can go. And it's stealthy. You cannot see it.
Yeah.
So it can hover there, pretty much invisible, unless you're right on top of it. And no one realizes anybody's there until it's already gone. So
they did do the pass recently on the light fighters, and apparently the Talon's down to like 8K now, 8K. So it's like really small visibility on that as well now too. So yeah, that's probably why they're both up there.
I will say, as cool as the utility is, believe me, the Talon irritates me. The Shrike and the Talon are two variants I wish that didn't exist. I wish there was just an armament switch out you could do on them. However, I do still think the Talon is one of the best looking ships they've made. Like definitely in the top, 30% of ships they've made.
Cool.
But the Prowler goes there too. I mean, out of all the alien ships, we are talking about the two hulls that are probably my favorite: the Prowler and the Talon.
You're not wrong, Paul. You'd agree with me. Algrid's got a massive heart on for Devarin ships. Like,
they have the coolest lore of the aliens in my opinion. Like I like the Xian and I like the Banu. Banu are my favorite just because they're crazy. But like the cool factor of the Devarin, which is sort of this martial alien race, which has been cast down from their heights and are now sort of the like a minority population that are constantly being persecuted inside the UEE. Like there's like an underdog factor. There's like a tradition factor. There's a lot of cool stuff with the Talon. And then on top of that, they make cool ships. So it's like, yeah, it works.
All right, Paul, it's time for tangent time.
Okay. Tangent time part 2.
Yeah. Of 75.
Yeah.
I don't know which one to bring up, so I'm just going to send you this one, right? So this is a Klingon warbird.
Yeah.
Everyone knows and loves Star Trek, right? I want to do a poll because we've done it on our channel, so we must as well do it while I'm here, and we'll test your audience too. I'm sure most of them are the same, but I still think this will be interesting. Would you buy, if Paul can bring an image up,
I'm going to pull up.
a poll, and I want you to do a poll as well, Paul. So basically, this is a Klingon warbird. There are other warbirds too from Star Trek, like the don't leave me hanging. Not the Vulcan, the
Romulan warbird.
Bad Vulcan. Romulan warbird, right? But basically, I like the Klingon one personally because of you can see the bird wing there on the side. But long story short, this as a larger Tavaran ship, would you buy it? So a Tavaran warbird, yes or no? Would you buy a Tavaran warbird, yes or no? And if you do a poll, that'd be great.
I'm doing it right now. Bird. There we go.
Yes. Because I was like that Fry meme, like, shut up and take my money. Like, instantly when I heard that, and I'll put that off to you two boys while we wait for the poll to come in. Grim, would you buy a Tavaran Warbird?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in every Tavaran ship. You know, the price sometimes scares the hell out of me on some of them, but I love so far all the Tavaran designs.
So the
yeah,
Tavaran
easy.
Birdbath ship is in your fantasy lane. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, honestly, if we were to have another alien starter outside the Sulin, I would want it to be a Tavaran starter.
Grim is a ferry confirmed. Right.
Let me see. Right now, I've been running for 3 minutes. We've got about on Twitch, we have 7 yes, 5 no. On YouTube, we have 75% of the people are saying yes. 80%.
So it's a bit decisive. Okay. That's okay. That's what I want to know.
You know, close, I would say. It's close enough that I think that people there definitely is a market for it, but you know, it's about
they are very warlike birds. That's essentially what they are. So I just the fact that this is like a war bird, I think that makes a lot of sense to the Tavaran to go down that line. I think it would be kind of cool. They're not very Star Trek-esque ships, let's be honest, the ones that we do have. But again, that bird-like stance of the
hang. Yeah. Well,
the prowler, it works,
and it also works because we know that the in lore, at least, the Gladiator is effectively just a human version of the Talon. They basically took the Talon and like backwards built it and then built their own version, and you can see it with like sort of the downwards swooping wings. So if you saw something that was like reminiscent of the Gladius, as if like that was the sort of the thing the Gladius was trying to steal from, with more of the like the bird feathers, I think it'd be cool.
Someone had another cool thing yesterday on stream. They suggested that the Tavaran, you know, the phallic shield, that there was a way, like a ship via the Tavaran, either via drones or a beam, could actually boost the shields of other ships.
Oh, that was my idea. Yeah, the buffing.
So that was your idea. Yeah, I couldn't remember who it was. It's been a sleep.
Yeah,
but that's a cool idea. I really liked that. I thought that was really cool. Like essentially a support class in a ship. I thought that was really cool because like essentially our healers are going to be repair ships.
Yeah.
Right. But what's a buffing class? And the whole idea you had, I thought was pretty cool, Grim. With drones or even just the beam. Either way, because again, you can see that they're doing it to stop it. Like that's a part.
So you have to protect your buffer ship,
or an EMP like bubble, but the idea would be that maybe it surge charges your shields to 150% for a limited time or whatever within a certain radius or whatever. I mean, obviously there's a lot you can do with that, but
just so you see like a big hit coming in like a torpedo and you just kind of surge it and it'll last for 10 seconds.
There's a bit of nerd stuff where we've been corrected that the warbird is Romulan, bird of prey is Klingon. They're basically the same.
My bad.
They're basically the same word, though.
My bad.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to get is some of the Star Trek ships would be really cool for Tavaran. Long story short. But yes, you're absolutely correct. It does actually say bird of prey.
The poll was 50-50. But on YouTube, it was 85%.
Wow.
85% on YouTube were like, but only it was 16 exactly.
Still, I would argue if we did that again with another ship that's already in the game, you'd probably find it just as decisive.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
So I'd still say that. I'd still say 50% of people, right? Let's be honest. If you're here during a lull period, you're a hardcore audience, and the hardcore audience tend to spend more money. I would still say that is a lot of money. And I think anyone, whether you like that idea as a ship or not, you would probably have to agree in money terms that would be a good idea.
Yeah. I think if you called back to Star Trek, you would get definitely a lot of people because they already did that with Star Wars and other
Mantis and the Mantis and other things like that. So
yeah.
And you know, I'm not the biggest flyer of the alien ships in the game, but I was actually surprised that the Santok AI was not on there, and I don't know if it's ever been on the Best in Show. Like
it's not going to be because of the flight model, man. Until they get that alien
is
flight
it bad?
model.
Okay.
This is the whole reason the Flappy Bird is not a fighter. Everything you're described right there is the whole reason why the Flappy Bird is not a fighter, my friend.
You call it a Flappy Bird?
Because of the... yeah, well, that's just... What the fuck am I going to call it? Look at that fucking thing. What, no, not
Call
the,
it.
not the,
Just
not
call
the
it.
Santucky Eye. The Fluffy Birds, the blue silhouette image that we talk about.
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
that one.
Drake.
Yeah.
He means the
Yeah.
Drake heavy fighter. He just
Yeah.
doesn't want to
Oh,
admit
shut
it.
the fuck up. If that's a fucking heavy fighter, man, they need to go back.
If you want to see more of this wonderful banter back and forth, the X and Grim stream together all the time, and this is pretty standard.
Yeah.
This is pretty on brand for X and Grim. All right, so that's a good tangent. Let's go to the next one, which is we already talked about this: Polaris versus Starlancer. Grim, who's gonna win, or versus who do you think is who you want to win?
Well, I want the Polaris to win, but it also should win. The TAC, I love the Starlancer ships, actually. I really enjoyed the Max quite a bit. The TAC, to me, though, does have some issues. But that aside, I still, I told this to Ben Curtis, I think the Polaris is the high water mark for CIG on ships. Now, it's not to say it's perfect, but they really blew it out of the park with this one. And if you're just truly going by like the work, effort, and passion put into a ship, especially a long promise ship, CIG did not disappoint. Like if you're one of those people out there that's waiting a long time for the BMM or the Kraken or any of these the Starline or any of these ships that are just in concept forever, the Polaris should be something that gives you a little bit of hope because they did not just get lazy with that ship and throw it out they put a lot of effort into it. So for that reason alone, I think it deserves best in show recognition.
So what you're saying is the Infrunners group has been saying for years, the longer your ship takes to come out, the better it is.
Yeah.
So you just admitted we're correct. Thank you very much.
I admit it.
X, your thoughts? Polaris or Star? I mean, we know you were a world class hater on when it comes to the Starlancer attack. You absolutely despise that ship. So
I'm waiting for the build. Right, I think the build is where it's at. Ben and John told us at CitizenCon last year that is what it was built for. I think it'll probably, hopefully, turn around a lot when it gets to that. Look, my hatred comes from marketing and just how things were shoehorned into that ship, right? And I think if we had the build, we would definitely look at the Max. I hate calling it the Max because it doesn't hold anything extra over the two defaults, right? Again, if you would utilize that space better and put an elevator to put extra cargo upstairs over the other two, absolutely, I could have called it Maxing because it's got extra cargo, but it doesn't do that. The cargo bay around the TAC. That has the corridor, remove the corridor, make the whole thing a hangar. You could have put two ships there, not one. Now, they probably only wanted one for gameplay reasons. Again, make it a bigger hangar, make it more luxurious. Just, I don't know, just really weird choices. And it feels very shoehorned. But wait till we see the build.
You do bring up something interesting, though, and this isn't really a tangent. We're kind of staying on Starlancer for a minute here, but it is kind of interesting sometimes when there'll be multiple versions of a ship like the Starlancer series, and specifically the TAC is the one that's sort of chosen for this, where I feel like maybe I'm totally wrong. I would love to know the numbers, but I feel like the Max is the more like the ship that's like more populous out there of the two. It's also cheaper. Yeah. So I was actually surprised that it was the
significant
TAC and not the
margin.
Max.
It's almost $100 cheaper, mate. Of course it's going to be.
However, people do call the TAC the poor man's Polaris. I've heard that a lot. So maybe that's
here's my defense. My spirited defense of the TAC. I understand why the Polaris is going to win. I would love for the TAC to win because the TAC is an affordable Polaris, whereas the Polaris is like gigantically expensive. You can get pretty much anything you want in the Polaris in the TAC.
Wait. So you want people to vote for the cheap imitation over the real thing? That's literally what you just said.
Yes, because the cheap imitation is cheap. It's not. What is the Polaris?
Yes, he is on crack. That's right.
And I think it's a good ship for a very specific brand of people, which is me and my organization. It's designed for like a small group of people between 10 and 20 who want to go out and do like ground attack missions, ground missions, and that's it. Because they want to be able to regen, they want to have the health, the health, be able to carry some cargo or carry a vehicle. The like, I'll take or leave the freaking Fury thing. It's that neat, but like it's just a gimmick. And the guns can be helpful. It's fine. And the reason why the Max didn't win is didn't get on there is because it was going up against the Asgard and the Hull, because it was in that category.
Oh,
it's just
that's
like,
a good point.
It's just
Yeah,
never
that's
going
a
to
good
beat.
point.
It's not going to beat the cheap do it all ships like the Raft and the relatively cheap, I should say. For those,
Yeah, I
so.
didn't think about that. That's actually a good point, because that would have been the Max would have had to have been the freighter division.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows that
right,
the
right.
TAC is probably going to lose just based on that.
Yeah.
What you just said.
Yeah.
Because the Max should have been there, but it's not, because for other reasons. So
Yeah.
therefore, it never would have won over.
Yeah, like what else? What other big gunships do we have other than the Polaris and the Idris? We have the TAC. So it's like the TAC, the Polaris, the A2, I guess maybe, like, and the Hammerhead. Like, who's voting for the freaking Hammerhead? Like, it's not going to happen.
Oh, foreshadowing next year, Perseus.
It's
That's what I'm
Perseus.
going to say.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think if they do these similar categories, then
Yeah.
Perseus is going to be on there, because they'll probably prevent the Polaris from being on there, as we've talked about earlier. So yeah, I think we can already tell you that it's going to be the Perseus is going to be the run and gun category or the big combat category, and the Ironclad is going to be in the hauler category.
I would not be surprised if next year the first opening round was Paladin Perseus.
Yes, almost certainly.
Yeah. And to be clear, I do think the Star Lancer Max and the Star Lancer Tax are great ships for their price point in terms of what you're getting. I really do, and they're still ships I recommend to people. The minor issues I call out are more just minor issues for me personally, and where I think the Polaris's issues for me personally are primarily like some of the art stuff inside and some like non-consequential things. It still does everything they said it was going to do, essentially. So I mean, again, we're talking subjective opinion based sort of things here a lot of times with these ships, but
They're all fixable. All on both ships. They're
on
all
both
fixable
ships,
in my
easily
opinion.
fixable. And they're
agreed.
always, and all these ships are going to get a relook at some point in the future,
Agreed.
no matter how new they are. But
That's
it was
why
just
I do this.
yeah.
That's why we criticize them, so they can fix them later. Well, I hope that's why you guys do them. That's why I do them.
I want the Redeemer to be good. I want it to make sense.
Exactly.
It just sucks, and it makes me mad because it sucks so hard. All right.
I think there's with those shield changes they mentioned in the ISC this week, there might I think that might be turning around when they drop. That's going to make that have such a huge shield pool now. 6 buffered shields is nuts.
Yeah.
Like that's a shield tank.
Just I saw Ruben in chat on Twitch say mention the Idris. I would say too, like if it was the Idris versus the Polaris, if that was what the big gun thing was, I would probably still go Polaris, believe it or not.
I do think the Polaris is a better ship than the Idris. The Idris is good, but it's just its value is more in its size, and its gameplay design is for a game that doesn't exist yet. It's like
what's easy to get together? 10 people or 25? Like come on.
Exactly. So how did the Idris not even get it this year? CIG immediately said it wasn't going to get on there, and it's because
they PTV'd it.
Yeah,
they got a big ship sale. They got a bunch of waves for it though, so don't worry, it hasn't been forgotten.
It is still being sold.
They'll still take your money. They'll still take your money, but they're not giving you a skin. Yeah, basically.
You gotta remember as well that, like, think about how volatile the servers can be, and then imagine 600 people with an Idris in this current servers. Like that sounds like a recipe for during their biggest event of the year in terms of free flight. That just sounds like a bad idea.
I'll say this though. To me, the Idris, to be fair, the Polaris as well, but the Idris and stuff becomes super interesting when we finally get what John mentioned on SCL the other day, which is where these bigger ships can do repair, rearm, and refuel. When that happens, the whole big ship thing changes for me personally.
Yeah.
There's not many ships that actually hits either. There's only like, I think me and I worked out, there's like Carrick, Polaris, Idris, and there was the TAC.
The TAC, yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah, they're the only ones. And me and Aaron did actually.
It'll be Javelin and Kraken, but beyond that, I can't think of any others.
I'll put this question to you guys. What would the Merlin do on the Connie? Now we went, because there's no drone and it's completely external, it can refuel and rearm, but it can't repair. That's kind of where our brains went. And you tell me if you think that.
I can see that. I can see that.
Because then it would have like a docking port that can refuel, and it can there's a docking thing to
Oh.
rearm, but there's no way for a drone. You'd need a drone to repair the whole Merlin, so it's not possible.
Yeah. Tim also brings up the 890.
Yeah. The 893. Sorry, this is tip on my bad.
Jin is saying this episode is more tangent than Ship Showdown. I said at the very beginning we're going to do that, and we are.
The Ship Showdown is our structure for tangents.
Yes, because all these things make sense because we're also talking about it in the context of when those things happen, it's going to change how people make their decisions. Like people will decide based off of what the value of the ship has in terms of its functionality. When you have those things like it can rearm, repair, refuel, that means that ship's going to be so much more valuable to people than
the last time the 600i won was right after I believe, I could be wrong here, I'd have to look it up again.
Right after they announced.
Right after they announced the rework.
Yeah.
It was, oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah. So here's
Is that rework again? Oh, nowhere. And it's going absolutely nowhere because that's what it was to keep you quiet and shut the fuck up. I'm gonna read this shit.
Well, the thing
is nothing.
The thing is that they were also saying like, oh well, when new ships come out or older ships that have been sold come out, we don't get a lot of value. It's like when you announce a revamp of a ship, people will buy it in droves.
Oh yeah.
Like if you look at the number of freelancers that are sold when they announce the interior rework of the freelancers, they will shoot right up with there. Because
the Aurora will be the next one.
So
they kind of announced the Aurora thing that they're going to go up again.
So even though there's not like an immediate huge push in terms of like a big sales blitz, you'll see that overall, I think that the ship sales go up.
I'm shocked they don't lean more into relaunches of ships, to be totally honest with you. Like when they do, like with the Raft, they did sell it again, I know, when it got that change to how it does cargo, but I'm almost shocked they don't like push it as like a marketing promotion again. They could, I think it would be like worth it to do it. So.
Sometimes there's a disconnect though, that they were not selling the Raft at the start of that mission thing. And then they realized how many people in game were using the Raft and they put it up in the store 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah.
I was slapping themselves. You know, like if they'd had that patch instead of selling mole skins, if they'd had Raft skins, missed opportunity, bro. Missed opportunity.
By the way, Jin says he doesn't know. We all said Polaris. We all said Polaris was going to win. It was just more of a talking about other things. All right, let's move on to the next ones. We only got a couple more. Asgard. Asgard versus the Ursa Medevac.
No, it sounds good. Like there's any competition.
Easy. Asgard.
When one ship fits inside another, the other ship has already lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just say real quick, the Asgard was something I kind of downplayed when it was first announced, or even started leaking out, and it's turned out I love this ship. I fly it.
Yeah.
It's like a daily driver for me.
It's the Super Cutlass is what it is. It's just the
That's
Cutlass,
exactly
but
what it is. Yeah.
bigger and better. You know.
Yeah.
It's just bittersweet how it got here.
Yeah.
That's my issue with it, right? And
it's a rekit of the. It's literally just a kit bash of the.
Well, again, they've. I'll make it really short. They've taken stuff off the Valkyrie to make the Asgard work, but let's be honest. Why would they do that in real life? They would just make the one. They would merge the best of the Valkyrie with the best of the Asgard. They would up the engines, use a little bit more fuel. This is the military after all.
So easier to fit parts for one ship rather than one vehicle rather than two.
Yeah. Well, essentially, the argument would be that they've had to cut all the seats to allow for the extra weight of the larger vehicle. I get the theory.
Yeah, but you would be able to have it variable, so you could have the seats on there, and then you would take the seats out when you needed to, and they'd be modular, so because you could swap in and out.
Here's the strange thing: the Nova tank takes 3 people.
Yeah.
There's a version of one of the Atlases, I believe, takes 3 people as well, or the Spartans that sit in the back of it. Where are those extra people sitting? So the Nova tank, you can only take 2 people because that's the only 2. Like they didn't think this through.
No.
I literally said, like, I actually think I was said to Algrid, like, they need to cut those seats back to a minimum of, like, I think it was 4 or something we worked out, and they cut it to 2. And I went, well, this is screwed.
Yeah. Because if you're carrying a tank that has crew of 3 and you only have two seats, where's the third person get a seat? Are they going to lay in the bed? You know, and
change it so they're not heavy armor seats; they're just normal seats. So that's also more reduced weight, and so they're just 4 normal seats, and there's your compromise.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't do that. And yeah, Too many compromises on both of them, and none of them work properly. Where if you merge them both, you'd have an ultimate edition, and that's all you really need.
All right, so we've got two more that we're going to go through, and then we'll talk a little bit more because we're at about an hour, so I want to keep this a little bit short before we go into the question and answer session. Razer
We haven't even
versus
got into tangent. This is not going short. We've still got the tangent to do. We've got all the speculation to do. No. We're going to talk about all the blue silhouette video ships yet. We've got so no.
If we're going to do that, we're going to do that with a question and answer session.
Get answers, bro. We're gonna no questions and answers. This week is law speculation section.
We will do that for the question and answer session because
all right.
Because that's a little bit more like easier for me to put that in there. So the Razer versus the Gladiator, who's going to win?
Yeah, I think it's the Gladiator.
I think it's Gladiator, but I don't know how many people voted for the Razer because there was a surprise that the Razer beat the M50.
Pete will be voting for the Razer though because it's the fastest it's ever been.
Okay.
And if you know what I'm saying there, Pete was now mad. But Pete's chat is always trolling him because racing is really slow at the moment, and they're always saying to him, "But Pete, it's the fastest
it's ever been." It's because that's what they CIG said. Yeah.
I'll say Gladiator because I could go on a massive tangent on how racing is even approached in this game.
Yeah.
So we'll save that for another show. I'm gonna say Gladiator.
I do have a sneaking suspicion with John Cruz saying the Gladiator. I think they've been reworking that for Squadron.
Oh, they have to.
I think there's already a skin in the works. I think they're going to dump that with a. I don't think we're getting a Mark II, by the way. I just think we're getting a nice little upgrade. And I think,
agreed.
As it should be.
Agreed.
The reason I think we got a Mark II. And why the Mark I still exists. This is my speculation here. You guys can feel free to weigh in. But I think when we start the game, we have Mark Is, and halfway through we get a Mark II.
I could see that. At least
I think that's what, because one of the design metrics they do a lot is they always do this rule of thirds. So a third new, a third modified, and a third the original, like when they do a sequel. So my brain was like, well, what do you do? Why would they do a Mark II? Well, because it means halfway through you get upgrades essentially. And so it's kind of like, well, you can have this whole new ship, or you can have a ship that you know that's upgraded, and it's going to make it comfortable for people because you're going to know what to expect when you go into the Mark II. It's going to have a familiarity to it, so you already know what to expect, type of thing. But
yeah, I get it. Chat's getting really antsy about us getting on tangents. It's like, chat, we said that, and B, we're talking about ships. That's the whole point of Ship Showdown, is to talk about ships. You know?
we have a chat.
It's right there.
We'll tangent and talk nothing but fauna for the rest.
They are all robots. We know this. That's the case. Dead internet theory. You know, we're actually fake. Chat. Dear listener, we're all nothing but AI facsimiles. None of us are real. You're in fact not real. Nothing is real.
We're in a simulation, haven't you heard?
Yeah. All right. So the last real heads up would be the Zeus versus the Vulture, and I think the Zeus wins that.
Yeah, I think so too. I was surprised with the Corsair. Like, Agard really had me convinced, because think about the Corsair. There was a lot of people that owned that ship. Like, a lot of people. Like, it had 92% of all the kills in the entire game before they nerfed it. That's a lot of people owning Corsairs.
I would probably say the Zeus as well. But I'll caveat that heavily with, I am still kind of amazed. I mean, I love the Vulture. Everyone knows I'm a Drake fan, but the staying power that the Vulture's had over the last few Best in shows has been pretty amazing, and I think it's just because people utilize that ship a lot in the game to make money. It's like the go-to ship. I know there's some competitors out there now with the Fortune and stuff like that, but I think the Vulture is just sort of the gold standard for people needing to make some UEC. So
it's casual and relaxing, and there's, like, unlike mining, you're waiting for that pressure point, so to speak. You're just sitting back and chilling.
And some of the changes that were made to the Vulture, same as that were made to the, because just in terms of salvage cache and how the boxes auto eject and stuff, just some of those little changes took the Vulture from one place to another place, and people love that ship. I'm one of them.
So wait, the Vulture's got teleportation now?
Yes.
Well, it does. Yeah.
using quantum drives. They just go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
All right, so semifinals. So
Mhm.
what we're thinking of, and this is just based off of our current what we have currently. The semifinals are going to be the Asgard, the Gladiator, the Zeus, though the Vulture may come out swinging depending on what's going on. And then we didn't talk about this, but almost certainly the Polaris is going to beat whatever alien comes up. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way the Polaris loses to the Ute. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
The Ute
No,
is
I don't
nice,
see it.
but yeah.
There was so many Polarises when that thing first dropped. Like, and I still see them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do ask though, do you think we are maturing as a community and it's not just voting for ships that we own, or do you still think that's the?
I still think the vote, because if you don't own it, then there's not a lot of movement for it. But personally, but I do think that there's always been, and there always will be, especially since the MPUV, a sort of a sense of, we want to have ships that are diverse for us, so that it's easier to make sure that many people enjoy themselves. But there's always that one group of people who are really selfish and they really want their special snowflake ship to win. And yes, I'm talking about us gladiators.
Origin owners.
Yeah,
they're Origin owners. Every Origin owner. No.
The Carrick Karens that one year. You know,
all of them.
I think this year it'll be the Polaris people.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird situations where the Polaris deserves to win, and also there's going to be a lot of people who own Polarises who are like, I want free skin. You know, I spent $1,000 in this game. You know,
I've talked to people too that only have starter packages or a couple of small ships, and there's still people that vote for ships they aspire to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they want to one day own, whether it's earning game or one day be able to work their way up and buy a ship with real money. So something even like a Starlancer or a Polaris, those bigger ticket ships. There's still people that vote that way as well. Yeah, it's you're getting into some psychology of the voter now, and that's always a topic. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. I tend to vote for the ship that, for me personally, I always tend to vote for the ship that I just think CIG did the best job making, which is probably completely opposite of how most would vote. I don't know.
The only reason I get super involved, is usually with ships that I think deserve a chance, that no one gives them a chance, that need to be relooked at, is why I vote. That's why the Gladiator is, because looking at the Gladiator, it's clear that the Gladiator was a squadron ship that had a huge role early on in the squadron's development cycle, which is why the Gladiator is one of the first ships to come out in an Arena Commander. And then it got dropped because they came out with other ships, other vehicles that they needed, like the Retaliator, I think, replaced it, which is weird. But in that opening scene in Squadron where they have the tallies and the I think that was originally written as Gladiators and Hornets, and then they built that, because one of the first things that the Manchester studio did was the Retaliator. So they put that in there for that reason. And so
I still think the Gladiator will be in there somewhere, just in a different scene.
But as a result, because it got deprioritized, it sort of just got abandoned.
And it's just sat there for years.
But they've got like a ton of lore for it, and like as time's gone by, its value has gone up in terms of, size 5 torpedoes aren't great, but now that they have bombs, once they have size 4 bombs that you can put on a bomb rack, it becomes a bomber and a torpedo bomber and is decent guns and is pretty cool. So
Agra did ask John and Ben a whole bunch of questions about it, by the way, and I can confirm, if we haven't done this already, is we did actually to ask them about, because they've said that they were going to put bombs on it at one point, right? Same thing with the Retaliator, and it's kind of a very similar answer to what he gave to the Retaliator during the Q&A this week, was that basically with the Gladiator, though, they think because of the size of the bay, unlike making it a module on the Retaliator, they would have to make it a variant.
Yeah.
So I'm sneaky suspecting that we might have a Gladiator variant for sale.
The ground bomber. That could,
because he basically said if you just switch the hard points over directly, the bombs are too small to fill out the area. But if you make it a module, I actually said to Algren afterwards, I said they should have just made it a module for the current Gladiator.
Yeah.
Why have 2 variants? Just have just have the one gladiator and it has a module.
I
And-
could still see them because you know how they did that with like the rocket pods for the Scorpius and the gun swap out for the
yeah, like
Nova.
that. Yeah, like a kit. A kit, basically.
I think they'll do a kit. I think they may not do a module. They may not do a variant, but they may do a kit. But if they're doing a kit, they have to update it. It's part of the thing.
Well, yeah. Well, again, if you sell the gladiator and then also sell a kit, like there'll be a lot of people that go out and buy the whole gladiator again because they want the bombs, and then all of a sudden you've got a module kit that you can upgrade into. You get all the people that have held onto the gladiator buying
the kit. Oh, so you mean like selling a version of it with the kit already installed, rather than
Well, his implementation was to make two different ships, so a variant, right?
Yeah.
So a Gladiator 1 and a Gladiator 2 or whatever. And I don't know. I don't know the design elements behind it, but I still think it shouldn't be. I think it should have been as promised and just be a module that swaps over. So you either go load out all your torpedoes or you switch the module over and load out all your bombs.
Do the bomb racks work on the Gladiator that they sell?
Because they're size 3.
Interesting.
Because they're size 3 racks, and the missiles on the wings of the Gladiator are size 4. So that, like I said, the second they have a size 4 bomb with a size 4 bomb rack is the second that the Gladiator is going to be one of the best ground attack vehicles in the game, just because of its flexibility.
Also, I think Avenger 1. I was talking to someone, and they said that Avenger 1 classifies it. Was it an A or B tier fighter because it's quite tanky?
Yeah, it's super tanky.
Without the turret gunner.
Yeah.
So it's still, considering it's a bomber, it actually holds its own pretty well.
I mean, and it also makes sense in terms of the what they created it for, in terms of like the lore usually implies the design, because the lore was that it's basically a Hornet kit bash. They just take a lot of the Hornet parts and they put them together as really quickly.
It's just something about the way it flies, though.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. It feels like I know it's World War II in space, this game, but it feels like a World War I bomber in space. It's slightly clunky, but it's got a character to it that the other shit just doesn't have. And I'm worried they're actually going to lose that in the rework. There's something about, I don't know how to explain it. It's like and it's similar to the Hurricane. You know how you have the Jace aerospace thing? There's that older aesthetic that just works. And I don't know how to put it there. I don't know how they captured that lightning in the bottle, but there is just something that it's just something mysterious.
It's got to be just a balance of all its performance metrics just come together to create a vibe.
Well, it's also its design.
Yeah.
Like the Hurricane is clearly a proto Anvil design, and so whoever does the design took a look at like, what do we know about Anvil design now, and how can we like backtrace that to find something that looks like it's Anvil but it isn't. And I think they did a really good job of that.
Gladiator really set the stage for a lot of ships that came after it, like the landing gear. I didn't see cool landing gear like that again until the Carrack. Like it is probably still to this day got some of the best landing gear in the entire game. And that whole kind of forward swept look. There's just a lot of really cool shit to like about it.
Yeah.
I think they hit that mark, and it's been a hard one for. Like, I know it's got a lot of bugs, but it's been left to linger for such a long time. But it's still held its own its whole time. Like, I know it's also lots of functionality, but the look you can't say it doesn't look good.
One of the main things they did was just buff up the health, so it was a little bit tougher. And the second they buffed up its health, it became a sleeper in terms of what it could do.
Yeah.
This has been us glazing the Gladiator to tell you to go vote for the Gladiator for the last 15 minutes. But all right, let's talk a little bit about the future of Ship Showdown and what we want. We've talked a little bit about that already, but I'm going to pitch something to y'all, and you tell me if you like it or not, and then we'll sort of have a little discussion and move on to the question answer. What I believe they should do is, I know it takes a lot of work, from August, July-ish to September for them to just kind of put this together. That instead of doing it all in 3 months, take the first 8 months of the year and give us specific categories to vote for. So like we said, size 0 to starter, and then size 0 to size 6/7. So that January and March, you have pick the best starter ship, and then or February, March, and then March to April, you have the size 0 ships, and size 1s and size. And
can I make one caveat to this? I've just realized That's 6 categories. We technically need 8 because of the numbers. So the other 2 categories, I'd probably recommend something like a starter category and an underdog category.
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
the idea being you vote for them ahead of time, and then you find out
Right.
who's ever the best in category, and then that way CIG has more time, because if CIG knows what's the best in category for starter ships in March, they can get an artist to do a skin for the best in category in March, for like they know the shit they're working on. So that
the downside to that though is, so let's take this year as an example. The Golem wouldn't have been in contention. The Asgard wouldn't have been in contention. That's the downside to that.
Yeah, that is true. That is a downside. But like anything that's released, the Perseus isn't this year, because it's not coming out until like between October and November. So like there's still already that problem where most of the ships are released usually, which is between September and December, are still not available. So
long story short, they just need to fuck off the creative division at the start. They need to fuck off phase 1. It's broken.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. You're doing it for social media cloud,
which is fine. That's
what
what it's what's designed
just
for.
Look at it another way to do social media cloud that doesn't require people to create stuff.
You can still do that.
Just get them to post on Twitter or post on Facebook or wherever you want to post it. Just post a screenshot of your favorite ship. People can do that, but actually getting people to do like knitted arts and crafts is a bit weird.
Well, you could always have some sort of contest running in conjunction with the best in show thing, where people can still get creative, and maybe they win a ship or whatever, like CIG does for tons of events, and then change phase 1 to be something that's I would personally love phase 1 to start and more all-encompassing, where every ship is represented and you can go vote for a select number of them. It'd just be really interesting too and see what those real-time metrics are. You know what I mean? When you put your vote in, you get the number for how many votes for that ship, and it'd be interesting to just see from a purely like
Grim's not biased. He also wants everyone to go to do those votes through HangerLink. If you can go to Hanger.link and go to the ship viewer there and put your votes in there. No bias at all. No.
We're set up for it. But no, it would just be interesting to see where the mindset is on ships, where most of the votes go. Is it to certain types of ships, certain sizes of ships, all that? Because I do again, we've talked about that first phase is just pretty nebulous.
Yeah, I think
so. You kind of come into the 16 ship vote, kind of going, how did these ships get here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know who picked these. What weirdos picked these? That's what it feels like a little bit, right? like and people see that, but I don't think people notice, like, really submit. They kind of like tune out. Oh, that's work. I can click a vote. I can give you my okay, but you want me to put on a street parade and crochet a ship or whatever? That's a bit weird.
Like I'm not even a fan of this ship really, but it still shocks me that no Guardian is on there at all.
Yeah.
And there's 3 variants of it. But they're just saying that there's some ships that surprise me that they don't make it.
And I see people using the Guardian all the time. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I just think it didn't land as well as people wanted it to in the end.
Well, I think
maybe so. And you can just extrapolate that out to different ships, but it's like surprising to me.
All Guardian or owners can't do arts and crafts. That is now confirmed. That's
true.
How it is.
All right. Yeah, I think that's going to be a wrap it up for our discussion on Ship Showdown. We all believe the Polaris is going to win the whole thing. But we do think, once again, for those of you who are wondering, those are going to be the ships. If you want to hedge your bets on ships you might get, it's going to be the Asgard, the Gladiator, the Zeus, and the Polaris. Though I still think, y'all talking about the Vulture, I forgot. Yeah, Vulture is super popular. It is surprisingly popular. So it could beat
just got staying power.
Yeah. So.
And I think it's got a little bit of that like ugly duckling kind of vibe to it, where people kind of love it because it's
ugly. That's
like
Drake
dad.
for me.
It's like your mom.
Yeah.
It's like Grim's mom and dad.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Look at that.
Hey, I could have gone lower and said your daughter. I did not.
All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this, make sure you check us out live on twitch.tv/theastropub, youtube.com/the Captain's Table Podcast, or at the Captain's Table Podcast on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you check out, where is it? Starjump.sc or is it starjump.com?
Well, there's starjumpfleetviewer.com you can go to, or hanger.link. And then obviously on YouTube, we're just Starjump, and on Twitch, Starjump_Grim.
And then you can find
Make
me.
sure you go there and grieve him as much as possible.
You can find Execute there, and you can also find Execute at the Info Runners on YouTube and Twitch. So and you can find me there every so often. Thank you for watching.
I'm only there with Grim when I wake up. Like if I wake up and I drag myself on there, he never lets me know he's streaming. He's like, "Fuck, he's here."
It's because my streams are so impromptu. They're not like, they're not.
He does them on lunch break and shit, and I'm like, hey Grim, I'm in Discord. Hey Grim, I'm in Discord.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.